What's up? I know I'm late, but I am back with my Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 6, Emotional Overload Recap and Review. Since this is long overdue, we're gonna go right into it. And as usual, I am Janice or Barb. Just do not call me Janice or Barbara, and we are going to get right on into it. Okay, let's go. Okay, guys, so this episode begins with Quick and Ashley. They're going to the doctor, okay, orthopedist, if you will. And he's been complaining of some chronic wrist pain. Come to find out, it could be gout, it could be arthritis, it could be whatever. But is he gonna wear the brace? No, he's not. So this whole scene is irrelevant. Ashley's being hard on him, as she should be. Someone needs to be, clearly. And, this could be a career ender for him. He needs to go on a prolonged hiatus to kind of rest his wrist. And me as well, you guys know, clearly, yeah, I'm a lash tech. And this is actually something that has plagued me as well, where, I've been having some wrist pain and stuff like that. And I kind of had to learn how to do my schedule and organize my schedule in a way so that I'm not overloading my wrists as well. So I totally understand that. And there's really nothing else to say except for he needs to get his together. But anyway, next we see Irena and Brittany. They're having a little mommy-daughter, a little, couple cocktails or whatever. Little din-din. And they start talking about the whole, blow up and everything. And, how Irena tells her about that whole fiasco, that parking lot fiasco thing, And Brittany agrees that, her dad needs to change. And he's aware of it, but he's still sinking back into his old ways. So, I don't know, y'all. We're going to see if Jamie gets this together by the end of the season. Do you guys think so? Because I don't. Let me know in the comments below. Back with Quick and Ashley. They're having Chris and Monique over for some little takeout dinner. And once Monique and Chris arrive, they sit down, and of course they bring up the whole blow up that happened at Ashley's pop-up selfie event. And Ashley basically says she's over it. I don't really think she is, because I feel like this is going to just continue to roll on throughout the season. And Monique, she does continue to apologize and say, she was just trying to fix the situation and whatnot. But I don't really think Ashley is too convinced about that. She still has a bad taste in her mouth from how everything went down. And Quick also chimes in to say that she's playing tit for tat. And Ashley also is like, okay, yeah, I've only been going off of what I've been hearing. And I'm like, okay. And apparently when she brought up that, she was saying something that she heard, i.e. these rumors that he be in the streets, you got offended by that. So it's like, no, the way you were coming was like you really did not like her. I don't care. I'm sticking by that. And Monique, like I said before, wants it to be known that she was not intentionally trying to, start any fires, anything like that. And I'm just like, girl, don't keep apologizing. Like I said, even if you didn't say that, I feel like Ashley was still going to have a reason to just not really care for Winter, And at the end of their dinner, Monique shares that she's been, seeing her intuitive healer, and she invites everyone to come out for a session, and they actually agreed to come, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, we get a glimpse into motherhood with Winter. She has 4 children. And her daughter, she's sitting down with her daughter and her son. I think her daughter was 20, her son was 18. And she's gonna be going out of town. She's like, your dad will be around, but I'm gonna be going out of town. So, and FYI, I'm proceeding forward with the divorce. And her daughter claps, and she's like, what's that about? And her daughter basically says that he came on real strong at first, basically like love bombing you, and in turn hiding his flaws until he couldn't hide them anymore, and they came and knocked you down. And they also shared that they're not upset about the divorce. They don't hold anything against her. So she felt really, really good about that, which I'm like, that's good. You know, you at the end of the day, you know you're good with your kids. They support you. So I really don't feel like there's any more things to stress about as far as that situation. It's gonna be a signed, sealed, delivered in the past situation in just a few minutes, right? They shed some beautiful wisdom on her, and then with a group hug. It was a real cute scene. Next, we see Ashley, Monique, and Winter having a sit down. And I'm like, here we go again. Like, I don't really care too much. Like, if this is going to be what it is all season, like, I don't really care. Like, they don't really care for each other. As well, more so Ashley, I want to say. It is what it is. It was a miscommunication, right? Okay. So, Monique starts with her and Winter's lunch and the whole rumors thing. And Winter believes the miscommunication surrounds how, you know, like the whole rumor comment came around and how it was received and distributed. And Ashley, I feel like wasn't really trying to hear that. She's still, like I said, she's sticking to her guns. I feel like no matter what apologies or rectifying of the situation comes, she's still gonna just be like not really convinced about trying to be friends with Winter, which it's at the end of the day, it's okay. You don't have to be friends with everybody, but I feel like the way that she's basing her not wanting to be friends with her off of really just, I don't know. I don't feel like it's justifiable if you ask me. But they all agree that Monique made it worse. And I was like, I mean, again, yeah, you kind of did. It was kind of like a game of telephone, you know? Ashley, yeah, she expresses she still has ill feelings. And I'm like, we're not surprised about that at all. And Winter, you know, she apologizes for her actions and her statement. She does. She takes up for that. But Ashley still feels like Monique is just trying to protect herself. And I was like, I don't think that she's trying to protect herself, but I think that she's just trying not to make this bigger than what it has to be, and is taking ownership like a grown person should, right? So they're good, as in neutral, because they're ultimately strangers, you know, and you want to say like, okay, we can start with a clean slate, but can we really, when Ashley's still saying like, we not friends though still, like, okay. And if I was Winter, like, she's very nice, nasty, I feel like, and very, like, keep it cute and read you down with a smile on my face and not lifting my booty off this chair. But I feel like when it comes to Ashley, like, she's that person that needs to, like, you need to tell her, like, no, like, we're not friends, and that's because I also don't want to be your friend. Like, I'm supposed to win some prize if I'm your friend or something like that. Like, we are grown AF. No one's going to be vying to be your friend. But anyway. Fast forward, we see all the couples at their intuitive healing session, which turned out to be really, really good. I liked the healer. She was pretty spot on when she read everybody down, honey. And she starts, of course, with Jamie. Y'all definitely need this. And she tells him there's like times that he's insecure, and that in turn that's presented as aggression. And that also pushes people away, of course, because who's going to want to deal with you and you coming crazy, right? So work on that. And then she turns to Quick, and this is when it gets even a little bit more deeper. And she says she sees nines all around him, and she's like, wow, you know, that's not coincidental at all, because you know, my mom, I lost my mom. My mom got ill when I was 9. My dad died in 1999. So yeah, there's always been 9s around me. And because of all of the trauma I've had to endure in my life, like, I'm never really over the moon when I get good news, because I always know that's going to be followed by some bad news. And that's something that kind of resonated with me, because transparent moment, the past couple of years, I want to say, you know, in the wake of the pandemic, of course, like, that only amplified things, but I kind of fell into a cycle where I felt like, you know, why even get excited about, you know, the good things that happen when, you know, I'm always looking over my shoulder, like, you know, what's going to happen, you know, next. Like, it just always seemed like there was always something. And whenever I feel myself getting back into that headspace, I don't feel like that is a healthy way to look at life. You know, you should still relish in those happy moments and not, you know, have such a, it's almost like, you know, having a pessimistic outlook, really, honestly, because are you truly ever like living life to the fullest and taking things and living in a moment? I don't really feel like you are. And Ashley kind of chimes in and says she wants, you know, the real from him, not a front. And I'm just like, it makes sense. It makes sense why he, you know, works so much to kind of escape reality is what he said. And I'm like, I could totally see that, you know, living on the surface, not really trying to get too in depth with stuff, because it's like, why even bother? It's just gonna fall to shit, you know, in the future anyway. But I don't think that's no way to live, honestly. So then she turns to Chris and Monique, and she says to Chris, like, don't live through Monique. And Monique specifically, she translates that for him by saying, you know, find out what fuels you. And I totally agree with that. Like, really find, you know, your niche in life and stuff, and what your new normal is going to be. And he, of course, he's thinking career wise, but before they can even really get into that, the healer says, like, you know what, we're gonna put that on pause. I actually want you guys to work on that when you get home. So we'll see what comes of that. I still stick to my guns. I think that they're going to be able to work out their issues, but it's going to take work, you know, just like anything in a marriage. It's going to take work, patience, consistency, all of that. And no grudges being held, of course. When she turns to Raina, she says, you know, I see you spreading peanut butter or whatever, and you know, being so transfixed on this peanut butter and trying to make it perfect and not just see like just perfection around you. And literally when I say Raina started bawling, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, talk about hitting the nail on the head. Clearly that did it, right? And she tells it, and Jamie's just sitting there like a lump on a log, like, you know, start crying. What, you know, what's up? Like no, like she needs to let these emotions out and stuff like that. Like, they are very polar opposites when it comes to emotions and stuff like that, and emotional intelligence and all that. And which is not bizarre, you know. No two people are just going to be completely in sync and compatible through and through all the time. If you are, then kudos to you, like, you're blessed. But, you know, for them to, has this been what their marriage has been like for 26 years? Like, that's got to be daunting. Like, I couldn't be her, man. I'm good. I'm like, you know, she wants a hug, not a fucking tap. Like, come on now. Emotional intelligence. Damn. But overall, you know, I think it was a good session. I think they all hopefully took away what they needed to take away from it. And, you know, we'll see in the future if they actually apply what they've been enlightened on. Next scene, which is the final scene, we get Quick. He meets up at the graveyard to visit his father's grave with his brothers, who look like him, just brown skin versions, let me just say. But they reflect on how they were raised, and how, you know, they were raised to kind of like not, you know, show emotions or show weakness, should I say. But at the same time, they all agree that, you know, their dad would be proud of them and all their accomplishments. And I agree. I'm you know, and I don't even know them, but I'm sure, because I feel like, you know, my grandmother, my you know, everybody who I've lost in my life, I feel like would, you know, feel the same way. Yeah, it's just, you know, them looking down on us and knowing that, you know, especially when you know that you're living in your truth and you're doing the things that, you know, they always saw in you. So of course he's looking down proud, right? He also brings the letter that his mom wrote him, which he's only ever read it once, and that was with Ashley. So this is the second time he's gonna be reading it, and of course he's reading it and he gets emotional, and rightfully so. you know, mom's dying, like, essentially, and all that. And I kind of was like, you know, they had to grow up fast, but, you know, he does kind of say he wants to fix things with himself. He wants to, of course, it's always going to be his wife and kids first, but he wants to still, you know, bring in his brothers closer and have a closer relationship with him, and really dedicate himself to doing some a personal transformation. So like I said, just like before, we're gonna hold them to it, right? And we'll see what the rest of the season has in store. This episode didn't really give too much, but you know, it was still all right overall. We're learning more and more. We're peeling back the layers, y'all. We're peeling back the layers and seeing more and more into everybody's lives, right? So I can't, for some reason, I cannot remember what the previews are for next week, but I'm sure we're gonna get into it, and I'll be right here giving y'all my thoughts, opinions, and all that goodness, right? Okay. So with that being said, this is my recap and review for Love and Marriage DC, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on your way out. Bye!